Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Agoras Rising number 2. We just saw game number 1 between One Trick Pony and SG Arctic Wolves, and SG Arctic Wolves took the game right there at the end.
Yep.
We're getting ready to jump into game 2. Great defense there at the end with that purple gummy bear boss. I'm excited to see game 2. We did get bans already. Steel and Iggy banned out for game number 2.
Iggy banned, guys. Iggy, I was not expecting him to be as picked up as a hero as I was. If you guys listened to Voices of Agora, our podcast last weekend, which you should absolutely check out, which Notch and I do, and as you can tell above my head, right there is a big sponsor. I was very critical of Iggy. I didn't think he was gonna see much play, but so far, not only did he get picked twice by both teams, he just got banned in game number 2. So
Yeah.
obviously these teams, I grossly underestimated Iggy. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being wrong. The more viable heroes we have in the game, the better. And what's really cool is Iggy's the newest hero, and he's already seen play. That shows that Epic is doing a pretty good job at balancing these. He didn't come in. Sevarog, I think a lot of people were like, he's pretty weak. Iggy came in. He hit that. It seems to like he's hitting that sweet spot. We'll see as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. We didn't get a Muriel ban, so does that mean we are going to see the goddess of the world, Muriel?
Of course, man. It would be a foolish mistake for either of these teams not to get Muriel. She is a game-changing hero. She literally changes the way you have to play the game. That's how she's one of those heroes who's so good that you have to go into the game going, okay, we're up against a Muriel. We literally have to rethink everything we're doing from minute number 1 to the moment a core goes down.
Yeah. Well, I did message you the replay ID.
Thank you.
Guys, we do want to say thank you again to Fury.gg. You guys can look at all of the stats live. They will post that here in just a few minutes. If you want to see previous matches, you can look at those stats as well. Fury.gg. Thank you guys so much for the again partnering with us this week. If you guys want to head over to Fury.gg, you can build your decks, look at guides, look at your elo if that's something you're interested in. You can also see what cards you own and what cards you still need.
Which is so cool.
It's so important in early access to know what your elo is. No BM at all, by the way there. But yes, we're getting ready to jump into game 2 of SG Arctic Wolves and One Trick Pony.
So let's see. Blue is... Oh, cool. They didn't switch sides. That makes production so easy. Absolutely love it. All right, my man. I am at second number 5. Are you, Notch?
I will be.
Let me hit the button for the overlay. Goodbye.
I am.
Goodbye, everyone. Oh, hold on. I have to get this right. Boom. Boom. Now it should pop up. There it is. Ba-bam! And then I hit this button, and the team names show up. There we go. 1-0. Are you ready to get this underway, my man?
Let's do this, buddy.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's take a look at the early game itemization and introduce these teams. In blue, once again, One Trick Pony. They had the pretty much control of the game for the first 30 minutes of the match, but in one botched team fight to the late game situation, they now find themselves up against the ropes, down 0-1. It's going to be Real Eradicate on Twin Blast, Gnarly. I'm just going to call him Gnarly because I think that's a gnarly name. On Rampage, Frog Sama on Murdoch. He is representing the reptilian race right here. Skill Dance on Muriel. Gems on Fen Mao. So without Steel, they pick up that Fen Mao, that bruiser. Keep an eye on him in the early game. Looking forward to this. Who do we have on the red side of the map there, Josh?
On orange side for Raptor Spank, we've got a Grux, ladies and gentlemen. That 0%
there it is.
That 0% pick rate is false. We got a Grux. Bixel is playing Gideon. God's Gunman is on Muriel. Crazy Fools on Twin Blast. And Battler 27 is on Murdoch. We did see a Murdoch nerf, if you will. I'm going to call it a
rebalance of his early game skills.
Yes,
is scaling
I'm going to call it scaling. That's what I'm going to call
absolutely,
it.
Guys.
But we do see Murdoch in game. Should we still expect God tier Murdoch damage late game?
Yeah, he's still really good in the late game. He's still, I don't know what his scaling is, but he's still absurdly good of a hero. So he just doesn't ramp up as early on as we used to see him. So, But guys, talking about compositions, not only do we have a Grux, he's pretty much their only front line. Are we going to see? Are we going to see a tanky Grux here? Or are we going to see like a Muriel big initiation with a Muriel jumping in on Grux as he charges in, uses his clap known as the Warlord's Challenge, and then Gideon jumps in. There's a lot of wombo potential coming out here from the draft composition of SG Arctic Wolves. And again, I feel like they have a little bit more of, both these teams have a little more mid-game presence, though I think mid-game, going into that 15 to 30-minute time period, I really would like to see SG Arctic Wolves. I think they're going to have the advantage going into this. Looking at the items, just standard stuff across the build, wards, and more wards, a couple harvester keys. That seems to be pretty much the standard itemization for teams nowadays here.
Yeah, I mean, sight. Making
So
sure
big.
you're able to see rotations so you don't get those early game deaths, or so the other team doesn't get an early game kill. We are seeing, again, at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, these red and blue buffs will spawn. We see them rotating through the jungle. They're just going to pick up their white camps, continue to get themselves some early game card experience.
Yep.
We do have a Murdoch, Frog Sama,
Oh,
and
man.
Valor 27 in this lane over here.
There's kids watching. Hide their eyes. It's Murdoch on Murdoch action here. man.
Murdoch on Murdoch action. They're just going to shotgun each other in the face all night long. We'll
Not
see
sure
them
how to
just
take that.
take it however you want.
All
Take
right,
it
sweet.
however you want. We're just going to see them kind of posture back and forth. Well, as I say that, they rotate out of lane.
Yeah.
Go to pick up those white camps.
So-
We do see all 5 of Arctic Wolves rotating together.
Yeah.
They're picked up the blue buff. They're going to
Yep.
go pick up that red buff. They're going to get that 1600 card experience for all of their team there.
So no aggressiveness coming out here, and if there was going to be a team being aggressive, I'd love to would have. I think it would have been SG under. I almost said SG Underwolves. Underwolves. SG Arctic Wolves rather. But they didn't do it. Both these teams are pretty much just fall back to their own camp. But I really would like to see in the future teams around that level 3 timing, man. Go in there, get the orb, get the harvesters as well. Because if you can deny those harvesters early on, it takes so long to kill them. And then you have to wait another 30 seconds. It gives you vision. It gives you control. It can really give you a big firm control in the early game. And I talked about they have a really strong early game composition. But nope, they are going to bide their time, wait until they have a little bit of a better timing. Keep an eye on those level 5, level 7 timings. Obviously, level 5 is your ultimate. Level 7 is when you get that secondary. It's a big DPS boost for anyone that relies on their auto attacks to do damage, because you get that second level of your auto attack. It's a big DPS increase for these teams. But I think the early game is going to be familiar to what we saw last match. These teams just sitting in lanes, farming up the people who need to be farmed up for, and waiting for their respective timings to potentially get aggressive.
Yeah, so what do you think about this no tank? I mean, we've got a Grux.
Yep.
You mentioned a tanky Grux build. Do you think that's something we're going to see? Or do you think they're just going to go balls to the wall here and try and
There's
deal
your
as
answer.
much damage as they can?
There's your answer. As we do see Tempered Plate is going to be the first item picked up after those early game items from Raptor Spank. So he's going to go tanky here. And this is something that I've actually heard people talk about here, is a tanky Grux. Actually using him, intentionally picking him as your frontline and building him tanky. I mean, what value do you get out of using a Grux as a tank, as opposed to like you have the tank of Grux and the damage Rampage, right? Like, it's kind of that off-roll position is what they're filling right now, using that. And I'm not sure what they can do here. Smash and grab obviously brings a lot of control. Actually, Jims, he used his Reaper's Dash right as he got knocked back. So, but Muriel's here. Muriel's a great hero, and we do see Frog Sama here. So they actually got to be careful of overextending. They should be able to get Gems away here. So a beautiful timing right there to make sure that Gems got away. We saw Gems great play on Steel. Finmao and Steel have somewhat similar play styles. You have to know when it's okay to initiate, when it's to get in there. And obviously Gems play was a big factor in the lead that One Trick Pony had a majority of that last match. So I'm excited to see how we transition into maybe a little bit more damage-oriented role here on this Finmao.
So just looking at their items here and card points, it does look like we've got, again, more sight. Gems is actually going to build up his Guardian's Ward. He just threw a major strike in there. So we will see him go damage with his Guardian's Ward right off the bat.
Yep.
I'm very interested. This no tank pick has me very concerned. And yes, you could build Grux tanky, but I feel like Rampage is definitely the better option here over Grux. I mean, we see chat has said 0%.
Now we got that
chance
1%.
We see Grux. We're at 1%, boys. Grux is 1%, ladies and gentlemen.
made it,
Bernie
guys.
Sanders would be a happy man.
Oh, jeez.
I apologize. Don't get started in chat. What do you think we're going to see these teams do here? I mean, we saw very passive play early on. Do you think that's what we're going to see again? I want to see somebody be aggressive.
Look for timings. What we saw last match, that first instance of aggression that we saw was when the blue camp spawned the second time. It's a 5-minute spawn time, if I recall that correctly, which means they should be spawning up here around that like maybe 8 to 9 minute mark. That gives teams enough time to hit their ultimates, hit level 5, they're way ahead, they'll hit level 7, but generally don't see level 7 until later around like the level 10-minute mark, depending on how the game is going. And these stalemate sort of games thus far, I don't think they are going to be at level 7 around the timings when the orbs pop up again. But we saw that that's what One Trick Pony did last game. They had the stronger early game draft going into this, and now it's been switched with SG Arctic was the early game draft. I would like to see them pretty much take the page out of the notebook of One Trick Pony, and around that timing when those the orbs spawn for the second time, you have your ultimates, you have those very important abilities. Use your early game strength, invade, maybe take out a harvester, push a tower down that. Talking about the ability to push here, the wave, one thing that Grux brings to the table that Rampage doesn't really, is Grux's wave clear is absurdly good. He can push lanes. Once he gets maybe his like second or third item, he can clear a wave with the best of them. You have the wave clear of a Grux, you have the wave clear of a Gideon as well. I really think that their siege tower, their ability to siege is very good, but they don't have like, a Rampage or a Steel to like tank the tower and initiate. So the ability for SD Thunder Rose to take fights under towers, I want to say is very, very little. They have the Muriel, but even with the Muriel initiation, the towers and the inhibitors do so much damage. They don't have a Rampage to fall back on, so they aren't going to be able to dive towers very effectively. They're going to have to find their fights elsewhere on the map.
So teams are, I mean, we're starting to see just farming up. Everybody's at level 5 right now. Well, Battler is working his way up to level 5. Hopefully we see an engagement here once these ultimates come out. We do have the camps, buff camps should be respawning here in just a minute. Harvesters are down. We're 40 seconds, our boss harvester will spawn. It does, I do unfortunately have the color error bug again. So
oh no.
On my map, it's showing blue harvesters for the left and right. And that I'm gonna let you tell us.
SG. I'm fortunate. I didn't get the bug. Crazy fool showing off his shoes right there, getting himself out of harm's way. The first sort of any just resemblance of aggression right there, not going to work out, and they're really not going to be able to push this down. It's too early for him to push this tower. Crazy fool will be able to defend this just fine. But it is both the lane harvesters are in control of SG Arctic Wolves. They are orange, but on your case they're going to be blue. Crazy fool. We did this last game using his ultimate to clear up creeps. I feel like saving the ultimate there might be a little bit better suited because you saw them falling back. They weren't going to push the tower. Save your ultimate and just kind of passively push it out. It's not like they're going to be pushing. But nonetheless, they're going to push the creep. Maybe see some counter pressure here as they did see the rest of them fall back. The second orbs are now spawning here. Are we going to see more aggression come out, or is it just going to be status quo? Stay in lanes, farm up, look for opportunities.
Yeah, we do have Bixel and Battler 27 over here coming to take this blue camp. You know, I think we're going to see a little bit of this passive play again.
Yeah.
Set themselves up, let their ranged carries build up card points and get aggressive. We all know how dangerous Murdoch can be late game with proper cards and being fed a little bit. So just get them to build up, and we'll see probably engagements here within the next about 5 minutes.
If you guys could only hear what's happening when I mute my mic, guys, but I'll spare you the head cold sound effects. Notch has to deal with it though because he has to listen to me. So we did see the red buffs. The teams have taken it, but they took their own ones. No invasions. What are they going to use these red buffs for? Just like, hey, I can farm better now, or are they going to roam across the map? We do see that Rampage right here, the early of Rampage is starting to get aggressive here, Notch, and this is what they did last time, but they're a little bit too late. They're inside of the enemy team's jungle. They're taking the white camps, but the blue and red camps both have been taken. Their timing is pretty much come and gone. So I felt like they were a little bit too late. If they were there maybe another 30, 45 seconds earlier, they could have picked off the stranglers there at the blue camp. Weren't able to do so. Timing's not going to be there. The game continues. Big old goose egg for both of these teams, 0-0.
Yeah, we do have Frogsma, Gnarly, and Gems pushing out this lane. Bixel is rotating the Fen, but these guys at level 6 with Rampage, they should be able to take this tower down pretty easily.
Ooh, Rampster's got to be careful.
But we do have another tower. Grux and God's Gunman are pushing down a lane as well.
They should
so
be
we
able to
could see two tier 1s fall for both teams here.
So looking at which one is more valuable, I gotta say it's definitely that left side tower. We talk about it, the tower that's on the opposite side of the field. We do see Bixel going in. Muriel's gonna knock him up. This is a 2v3 there. This could have been a situation where give up the Gideon, don't worry about it, and then fall back. Now their Muriel's coming in here for more of offensively So I feel like Muriel should have just one of the things you want to see from Muriel is knowing when to not go in. And she, oh wow, what a huge play using Gideon's portal to keep herself alive. Can they get away? Fenmal's in travel mode. Get him out of travel mode. He's boosted from the shield. Wow. Muriel's able to get away. What a play right there. That was huge. But all the meanwhile, in the left lane, look at this big push coming down here. They're pushing this lane. The response is in there. Grux is going to clean these up. We talked about how strong of a wave clear that he has, and they're actually probably going to get this tier 2 tower completely unhindered.
I mean, great escape by God's Gunman, but Raptor Spank and Crazy Fool are going to push this tier 2 tower down. That lane clear by Raptor is insane. As he clears lane, he's passively building more health. We do see him building again. He's got one take in him. He's got Tempered Plate. He's got 9 points to go back and spend as of right now. So we'll probably see Raptor recall and start to build a little bit more tanky. But they did lose a tier 2 tower. I mean, that's amazing play. A way to stay with that split push and get that tier 2 down.
That's
12 minutes in. This is definitely a little bit more decisive action being taken this one.
Very much so, especially on the side of SG Arctic Wolves. Before they played a little bit more defensively because they knew that their early game wasn't really well suited to be able to take decisive team fights unless it's on their terms. But this time, they're playing to the strength of the draft. Not only do they have early game team fighting capabilities, but they push a little bit harder as well. And we saw that's what happened. If Muriel went down right there, they still would have lost that tier 2 tower, right? But with Muriel being off the map, and you know her ultimate's on cooldown as well, then that enables you to be able to push towers. Pushing a tower right now, when there's no Muriel, pushing a tower, let me rephrase that. Conversely, pushing a tower against a Muriel is so difficult to do because not only is everyone on the opponent just jumping around in front of it trying to get the opponent to draw the aggro, but the moment you try to initiate, Muriel's there to shield anyone that gets taken under pressure, and it's very difficult to do.
Crazy Fool is trying to defend this lane over here. God's Gunman does ult in on Crazy Fool.
Oh, wow.
He's used his ultimate ability to clear out that creep wave. Gems did take some damage from the tower.
Vixel's coming around. Vixel's coming around the flank. He has the black hole. There it is, going down right there. Finmouse able to get Muriel. We talked about how game-changing she is. She's able to get out there. If there was no Muriel, that's a dead Finmao. Skill Dance gets caught out. She's going to use her ultimate to get back away. Frog Sama taking out Crazy Fool. But again, Muriel shields for days. They're on cooldown. They need to get Crazy Fool down. They need to get him down. They need to get him down right now. Frog Sama's in trouble. Real Eradicate's going to use his ability. But here comes the Grux. That's what I'm talking about. Coming from the side, flanking in from the west. They're going to get themselves a Murdoch, and that's big. They're also eyeing down Real Eradicate. I think they're going to be able to get him down here, too. Muriel's nowhere in sight, and that was beautiful. This is what I want to see coming out from SG Arctic was use their early game strength. Grux flanked in at the most ideal time. He used the smash and grab to secure the kill. That was beautiful coming out from Arctic Wolves right there, Notch.
Yeah, and it looks like in all the while we had Baller, his name's the colors guys. Baller 27 was able to come down here and push the tier 1 tower. So yes, they got some, there was some kills, but we've got towers, we've got lanes pushed out. We're still in a very early game, guys. 14 minutes in, we do see the card points for Orange on my side. Raptor Spank, Bixel, God's Gunman,
Arctic Wolves. Yep.
Arctic Wolves. They definitely have the card advantage right now. So let's see if they can stick with this lead. We have it, guys. We've got Grux going full tank build. His Tempered Plate, he went full Greater Guard in that Tempered Plate.
So, yeah, he's going to be mitigating a lot of that physical damage. What was that? What's the quote there? GG, no energy damage, right? We're kidding, guys.
GG.
For those of you who watch another Nacho stream, you understand that inside joke. But for those of you who don't, well, you got to watch the stream. Frog Sama's in a lot of trouble. Muriel ult was already used. They're fighting underneath the tower, and this is what I was talking about. Even despite that fact, they were able to get the kill underneath the tower. Battle's in a lot of trouble. Muriel ult's there. Not only is he going to hit it, but he needs to hit Raptor Spank. He needs that shield. He gets it. But unfortunately, it's a little bit too late. Eradicate. He gets sucked in by the black hole right there. Bixel can get potentially targeted down here. A 1-for-1 exchange. Both Murdochs taken off the field. They're going to chase, but chasing a Gideon, chasing a Muriel, high mobility heroes. I'm not sure if they want to over chase here. There is going to be the hamstring on a Bixel. He's going to use that portal to get up. Gems doesn't have enough energy to Reaper's dash up there. And all the meanwhile, there was another chase going on here inside the jungle. They took out the Twin Blast of SG Arctic Wolves. So the dive underneath the tower, that's what I'm talking about. It's so dangerous to do that. Sure, they got the takedown on a Murdoch, but when you don't have that rampage like One Trick Pony does, you get punished for diving in the tower. That's exactly what happened right there, Notch.
Yeah, they didn't have that ultimate to take those tower hits. It does look like Raptor Spank actually went down, killed by Twin Blast. Those Muriel ults. Muriel ults. It's, from what we've seen, whoever uses Muriel ult second tends to win these team fights, and that's what we saw there. So it's all about timing. How long do you want to wait before Muriel ults? Do you risk it and try and get that second, or do you make sure you save your team and try and counter the second Muriel ult? And as you can see, it didn't pay off very well. Second mural ult won that fight there.
So Gideon right now, he's also building Takey himself. I like this, the kind of, normally you don't see Gideon kind of build into this, but the built into guard and into a little bit of health as, just full-on guards right there, getting him that damage mitigation. And that's going to take the factor of Twin Blast and Fenmal completely out, and that allows them maybe to focus down the Murdoch a little bit more, but Murdoch, of course, does have the energy damage. That's something that, the reason why Murdoch, banning him out, what it does is it essentially means that Murdoch does energy damage. He's the only ranger carry in the game that does energy damage right now. So when you have both a Murdoch plus another physical damage carry, it takes so much more for a team to mitigate your damage. You either have to go into the physical or energy, you have to decide. But if you ban the Murdoch, then what happens is you pretty much have to put all your bets on either heroes like Iggy, Gideon, Howitzer to supplement that extra type of damage. You don't want to go all in on energy. You don't want to go in all in on physical. But when that's the case, when you have a Murdoch on the field, he changes how heroes have to think about the itemization. And with no energy damage mitigation, instead doing physical damage, that means Frog Sama specifically, he's going to have to get some farm. If they can negate the farm of Murdoch and pretty much pinpoint him and continue to abuse the lack of mobility that Murdoch has, and then conversely build up physical damage mitigation, SG Arcticos are going to be in a great place. Their Grux is going to be tanky. He's going to be able to survive the damage, and also the Gideon as well is going to be survivable. Is going to have enough survivability to get full duration black holes off and be a little more hyper aggressive in these team fights.
Yeah, we do see engagement here mid lane. Raptor Spank's lane clear is amazing. He just pulled in that entire lane. And of course with the Gideon on top of that, they were able to easily defend that lane. We see a lot of posturing though going on around the purple gummy bear boss. Yes, they're mid lane now, but there was a lot of sight being placed there just a moment ago, and teams trying to kill it so they can get in and capitalize on the fact that they have towers down in that lane and get themselves the prime buff.
Yeah, generally around the time is when you see these teams starting to fight over it. And if you can tell these teams have a lot of... They have to keep an eye on that OP boss because look at the wards, right? That entire right part of the map on jungles for both sides, both orange and blue wards, all over the place. So the moment that any team gets near that OP buff and they don't have themselves some sort of big advantage going into it, they're going to get recognized, and the teams are trying to ward, counter ward. It's this constant ebb and flow of trying to gain control of the area of that OP boss to not only take the reconnaissance and visual control over it, but maybe find your opponent out of position, anything like that. And this is starting to become the norm here, is around around that 15-minute, 30-minute mark, just teams constantly are making sure they always have someone in the area warding up that OP boss, and that continues to be the case here.
Again, we're back to the posturing in lanes. We've got, ward on ward on ward in the middle here. We've got Muriel pushing a lane out over here, soaking up some card experience. We've got Bixel and Raptor and Battle in the middle. Again, keeping the middle lane pushed out. They're just trying to give themselves that lane advantage.
Yeah.
And they're doing that because once there's the team engagement, they want to be able to capitalize on the fact that the enemy team is down, and they want to be able to push out a tower. So keeping these lanes pretty much equalized is going to make sure they can capitalize off of those engagements.
Yeah, we saw last time where One Trick Pony in the last match, where it took, I believe, 2 team fights in a row that were favorable for them. One of them was hugely favorable for them. It was almost a complete team wipe. And they weren't able to do anything. They had to fall back and clean up waves. Their inhibitors were actually under siege. So OP Boss, is this just feigning aggression to try to force the hand? I think that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah. They're just kind of going over there, forcing the response out. You actually see God's Gunsman right there sitting preemptively, waiting to whip his ultimate on here. So whenever you see this Muriel, if you look at God's Gunsman, he has it queued up there. Actually, no, it was just recalling. Just kidding, guys. Faking you out, making sure you pay attention. Good evening. Make sure you get some coffee while you're at it here. But look, these teams are continuing to try to just posture and feign aggression, feign defensing. It's just a battle of wits right now. Who's going to make that first mistake and fall into the trap? And here they go again. They continue to put feign aggression onto this. Are they going to commit to it though?
It looks like Raptor Spank and Crazy Fool are going to commit.
But look at Rampage is gnarly. They're in the shadow plane. They know what's up. Don't forget Murdoch. Watch out for Murdoch to use his ultimate on it. If they have vision on this, they actually might be able to steal from it. They keep an eye out for Murdoch. Are they going to initiate or are they going to give it up here? Maybe they're here they go. Rampage going in. He's going to try to get the last hit. Crazy Fool is going to be able to secure it here. But where's the Muriel ult right here? They got to be careful. Here comes Finn Mal. There's the Muriel ult onto Muriel herself. If they can blow Muriel up, this would be huge. Muriel's out of position. They need to kill her before she ultimates. She does get the cast off. She's going to get away. Raptor Spank, though, that means no Muriel ult for Raptor Spank. He's out of position. He's going to have to charge away. Can they stick on him? I think they're going to be able to. With no Muriel ult to fall back on Raptor Spank, you talk about it, Notch. Whoever ults second seems to be the decisive factor in these team fights. Grux is going to go down. Crazy Fool was able to pick up the Orb Prime, but they lost their Grux. I really don't think they're going to be able to get this pushed out enough. Grux is down for 30 seconds. You only have about a minute and a half to turn in this Orb Prime. Though, don't forget, actually, something we didn't recognize, that Tier 2 tower in the left lane being down and being that far pushed out, they potentially, they have a very small window of opportunity to get this in there. But again, I'm a little bit concerned because they don't have anybody, a big front line to be able to get it in there. Rampage going in there, they're trying to lay down the law onto Murdoch, but he actually, gnarly, not respecting the damage, diving almost underneath the tower, gets blown up. Either he didn't have his ultimate or didn't have time to pop it. And here comes the aggression from Bixel. He's going to riff forward onto Jims. Jims is snared up on that. That's beautiful. There's the mirror shield, giving him health, getting him spilled, but the preemptive rift goes down. The rift, rather, goes down for the damage. The Murdoch ult is not going to connect. If that Murdoch ult connected, that more than likely would have been the death of Jims. They are chasing hard here. They got to be careful. I mean, they have themselves an Orb Prime. I think they should just fall back, turn in the Orb Prime. They pushed him back. That's what they're going to do. When you see Crazy Fool, he is Bolton beeline straight for that Orb turn in, and he's more than likely going to get it here, Josh.
So, Gooch, I had a weird bug while all of that happened, so listening to you was great. I am stuck at 0 seconds. It just restarted for me. Where are you at in the replay right now?
22 minutes and 30 seconds is where we're at. So when you reload in, my man, I'll give you. Let me know when you're going to hit that timer, and I'll give you a little countdown here. In the meanwhile, inhibitors under siege. This is a beautiful timing, but again, I fear for the tower diving a bit. Wow. Okay. That's one way to get yourself an inhibitor. If you just go in and kill the Twin Blast underneath his own inhibitor, that's a big mistake here. That's going to enable them to take out this inhibitor. They didn't get themselves in good enough position because they actually, a little bit of split pressure down in the mid lane. Initiation coming out for Gnarly. We saw what happened last time. Black Hole's going down, but it's not getting too much value here. It's only maybe hitting on the fringes of Gnarly right here, but now mid lane inhibitor goes down. So all of a sudden, 2 inhibitors are down, and here comes, look for big aggression coming out of Arctic Forces. We talked about their early game Jims. He's pretty much 1v1 right now up against the Twin Blast, but it's not going to work out for him. He gets taken out. Meanwhile, Raptor Spink on that Grux is getting so much value here. Bixel, he's going to go forward. They're trying to get down Skill Dance. He's pretty much by himself. Soon to be, he uses the shield on himself so the Knight can switch. No shield. Murdoch's going to get taken out. And all of a sudden, 2 inhibitors as well, 2 or 3 right here. This might, are they going to go for the core here? I'm not entirely sure. We are at 23 minutes and 30 seconds, Notch. They get the kill to Gnarly as well. I was not expecting that. This is what I'm talking about. That early game strength of this draft is showing it. And they are just completely acing One Trick Pony underneath their own core. And that's going to be game number 2. Much more decisiveness coming out of SG Arctic Wolves right there, Notch. That's what I wanted to see. That was beautifully done. One Trick Pony, unfortunately. They looked good in game number 1. They couldn't get themselves together in game number 2. And SG Arctic Wolves are going into the round of 8 here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed all of that until the end there, but a very good gameplay. They were able to get those 2 inhibitors down with that Orb Prime buff. Again, Orb Prime, so important in these matches.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing gameplay, good decisive gameplay, which we asked for. GG, SG Arctic Wolves. GG.
GG indeed, guys. So we're going to be getting, seeing what match we can get into here as... Well, there we go. Now we're talking here. Hold on. See, I'm working with the new production stuff, guys.
We're learning, boys.
Watch this. Watch this.
Hashtag production.
Down, in from the side, a little thing shoots up, and now we're looking good. Look at the sponsors drop in. That's so cool, man. Wow.
Oh my god.
Isn't that incredible?
We're esports. We're esports, boys. We're esports.
We are going to see the schedule is at 6 o'clock to do the round of 8. I'd imagine that most of these teams are probably itching to get into their next round of 8 matches, though. So we're going to cut it to a small break here. Final thoughts on that right there, Notch, on that series.
SG Arctic Wolves, they came back and they wanted to win. And they showed that by their very aggressive gameplay.
Much more decisive that game.
Yes, yeah, they were aggressive. They took their time to farm up, but very aggressive gameplay came out from them. That Grux,
100% win rate.
That's true, ladies and gentlemen. Grux now has a 100% win rate for cast games. I don't know if anybody else picks Grux.
I'm not sure.
Probably not. Thanks, Epic. But no, very very decisive gameplay. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They came in and Muriel was actually not a big a factor this game as I thought she was going to be. She was able to get a couple of saves, but with the Grux gameplay and them knowing what they wanted to do, they were able to easily win this game. Guys, don't forget to head over to matcherino.com. I'll post a link here. Matcherino, you can enter the promo code para coupon. It will basically donate a free $1 to these to the teams. The top 2 teams will win. We are currently sitting at $175.34. of our $500 goal. Thank you so much to Faragua for the $50, Giant Chip for the $26, Poly Ninja for 15,
Yeah,
Creepy Doors
wow.
for 11.
Big shout out to all you guys. That's
Yeah,
incredible. And
it's
all
amazing.
of that money is being infused into the teams.
Yes, that doesn't go to us.
That doesn't go to us. We are doing this for the teams. The foundation of this tournament since the get-go, I've said it on Voices of Agora, I said it last weekend, is to get the teams. We wanted to go into this allowing, if you empower the teams, then you empower your scene. You give them the ability to just be much more, give them a choice, right? Allow the teams to have the choice. And I really like that. It allows the scene to grow a little bit more organically. And as long as you nurture and you keep those teams in mind, at least that's our opinion going into this,
Yes.
then I think it really will develop into a very healthy competitive scene. And that's the goal here, guys. We know this is early access. We're not taking ourselves terribly too seriously, as you can tell, just because it is early access. Eventually, later down the line, there is going to be draft, right, when we have more heroes. Right now, drafting, it's too dangerous to do that. There's only 14... There's only a certain amount of heroes. Only a certain amount. Nailed it. Catorce. In the game right now, and having 14 heroes with pick and ban phase, just it doesn't seem right. So I don't know what that number will be for drafting. Again, that's we actually consult the captains of teams more than anyone else when we make decisions here. When it comes to the brackets, what sort of things they want to see in the game, stuff like that. A lot of the stuff that you see as far as the format goes is all like input from the teams. Notch and I have an experience in tournament organization, but again, we wanted to get the team's outlook on this, what they see, because they're going to be the future of competition. Without strong competitive play, without giving them that community and that camaraderie that we want to see, you can have all the viewership in the world if you don't have strong teams. That's what it's all built about, guys. So thank you. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is by you donating for this, it really just infuses these teams with a big morale boost and just really gives them that big drive, which we already know that they have. So thank you. That's my tangent right there. Let's see what we can do for the next match here, Notch. We're going to cut it to a small break, guys. And when we come back, either we'll be in the round of 8. I'm not sure if there's any more round of 16 games to be casted. If that's not the case, we will transition into the round of 8 and see which match we're going to get underway here. Stay tuned, guys. Hopefully we'll be back here in just a couple minutes. Notch, send us out to the break. Give us the final word.
You want me to keep it 100? Is that what we're doing right now, guys? Thank you so much again for watching. We are gonna to see which teams we're gonna cast next. Like the Gooch said, round of 8 is done. So congratulations, everybody's moved on. If you guys want to check out the bracket.
Round of 8. A round of 8 is done? You mean round of 16?
Round of 16.
Yeah.
Round of 16. Exclamation point bracket. You guys can see that bracket. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, Matcherino, Fury.gg, Voices of Agora. We will see you guys in a few minutes with another game and some smooth casting by the Gooch and I.
Oh, yeah.